I have some news that's going to shock you. So if you are driving right now, pull over. If you are standing up, please sit down. Some people don't like me. Me, whom I thought everyone so loved. Some people don't like me. Some people express this antipathy on the internet in the form of mean tweets. My producers, for whatever reason, have been very eager to compile all of these mean tweets and pin my eyes open to read them on camera. So I will oblige them. Because of how proud I am of my humility, I think that I will be able to grow my humility to an even more admirable and beautiful degree if I read these nasty things people write about me. Take it away. Michael Knowles makes me ashamed to be Catholic by how much Israeli minchia he sucks. Simping for porn stars, simping for Israel. I can understand Ben Shapiro and others on Daily Wire, but he isn't even Jewish. Ultimate Shabbos goy. Well, I guess that's a palate cleanser because for the past few weeks, I've been called an anti-Semitic Hamas-supporting Nazi. On half of Twitter is calling me a pro-Hamas, anti-Jewish Nazi, but I'm also being called a Shabbos goy, well, some naughty words in there too, who slavishly supports the state of Israel. Because, you know, I have the least popular position of all. I broadly support a longtime American ally over the people that we've been at war with for roughly 1,400 years. But I also think that those people that we've been at war with have rights. And I think there are also other groups of people, like, for instance, Palestinian Christians, who we have to protect. And I also, though I generally support as a prudential matter America's alliance with the state of Israel, I don't really believe the historical or theological bases of Zionism. And so I have an opinion that can irritate everyone. Oh, look, Knowles with another idiotic take. Stick to selling your brown phallic cigars. Got to get that Daily Wire paycheck. Okay, first of all, it's a nice cigar. You know, it's the sort of thing that people have been smoking since Christopher Columbus. It's kind of nice. Maybe we need the Mayflower Rorschach for the people who indulge in the frociaggine. And then, this is another kind of non sequitur. It says, go back to selling your cigars. Got to get that Daily Wire paycheck. I am an owner of Mayflower Cigars. Am I getting my paycheck from selling my...
Delicious cigars, very highly rated, very difficult to keep in stock cigars.
I've had this show now for like 8 years or something, and I constantly say things that irritate multiple of my colleagues, some of whom are owners of the Daily Wire. People always joke, oh, you know, Ben's going to fire you for saying that, Knowles. Oh, this, that, or the other. So what is it?
You're fired.
Goes with the territory, I guess. I'm the one who wanted to be a cigar mogul. I got to take the slings and arrows. Next one. ANCAP Monkey says, am I the only one who thinks that Michael Knowles looks like a gay version of Dave Grohl? All right, in fairness, that picture, it's not a gay picture of me. It's a lesbian picture of me.
I got news for you.
And it's not just I who have come to that conclusion. My wife, sweet little Elisa, has said from the beginning, DW Wardrobe bought me a bunch of cardigans like 9 years ago. And she said, that make you look like a lesbian. Take off the cardigan. So I grant the cardigans, it's gay. Not all cardigans are gay, but that one is. I agree. I've also heard that I look like Dave Grohl. I've heard I look like Al Pacino. Rachel Maddow, of course. I'm not going to refute this one. I'm wearing a cardigan, and I do look kind of like Dave Grohl.
We got him.
Hold on one second before we get to any more very, very important stuff. You must go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. You ever hear the phrase, that's unconstitutional? People toss that phrase around like confetti at a political rally. You hear it pretty much anywhere people gather to debate the issues of the day. But here's the thing. When someone drops that phrase, do you just nod along and take their word for it? Or have you ever actually cracked open the Constitution yourself to see what all the fuss is about? I think you should. And that is one of the many reasons that I'm thrilled about Hillsdale College's brand new free online course called The Federalist. You know those Federalist papers everyone references but few have actually read? They were penned by Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, and don't forget John Jay, to explain how our Constitution creates a government strong enough to protect our rights, yet safe enough to trust with power. Brilliant stuff, more relevant today than ever Hillsdale breaks it down into 10 digestible 30-minute lectures that you can tackle whenever you want. No deadlines, no cost, no catch. Here's the bonus. They got over 40 other free courses waiting for you, from C.S. Lewis to ancient Rome to early church history. It's like having a world-class education at your fingertips. It is having a world-class education at your fingertips, completely free. Hillsdale is one of the absolute top learning institutions in the entire country, and their courses are just magnificent. The Federalist, I highly recommend. Course on C.S. Lewis, I highly recommend. Right now, go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles to enroll. No cost, easy to get started. Hillsdale.edu/Knowles, get it to be really yes, to enroll free. Go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. Dark Rudy. Michael Knowles is only a right-wing pundit because he failed as an actor. Okay, first of all, I was a very successful actor. I was in very important films, some of which you can still find on streaming services, but I'm not going to tell you about them. I'm not necessarily directing you to them. Some call me a lesbian, but I prefer thespian. I have directed plays. I've translated plays, but I actually worked in politics at a higher level long before I did any of that stuff. They said this about Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
They said this about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The actor?
Basically any pundit. They say, if you ever did a school play, they say this guy's a failed actor. As if it's shocking that people who are in public life, who speak on stages for a living, might benefit from a little acting training. This is... Ronald Reagan had a good line on this. They said, can an actor be the president? He said, how could the president not be an actor? Jason Campbell. Michael claims same-sex couples are not fit to raise a child. That's true. Your drunk uncle says anti-American Christian dominionists like Michael Knowles should all shut the F up and spend some time actually reading the Bible instead of hating their fellow Americans so much. What is a Christian dominionist? Hi, I'm a Catholic. I don't know what all these terms are. When I hear these things, a dominionist, post-tribulation, dispensation, I don't know what any of this stuff means, really. I'm just an old-fashioned Catholic.
Playing on the radio. Dominion theology, also known as dominionism, is a group of far-right Christian political ideologies that seek to institute a nation governed by Christians.
Oh, you mean like our founding fathers? Okay, you're right. This Michael Knowles needs to shut up and stop defending the political order given to us by our founding fathers and every man in America until like 5 minutes ago. Okay. Baal Nagub. This is on Blue Sky, but he posted on Twitter because no one goes on Blue Sky, which is the lib Twitter. Then Michael Knowles is one stupid, dumb ASS who can't Google and find the many articles explaining that children with same-sex parents are usually happier compared to man plus woman parents. He doesn't want to know, so dumb. Yeah, that isn't true. That is completely fake.
Liar! You liar!
That's based on one very flawed study by Michael Rosenfeld in 2010 out of Stanford that cooked the books. The way that they arrived at the conclusion that children of same-sex parents do not do worse than other kids is by restricting the pool of kids raised by same-sex parents to those who hadn't moved the house in the last 5 years, which drastically reduced the number of people that could be surveyed. When you open it up to the actual representative group of kids raised by same-sex parents,
I got a bad feeling about this.
They did worse than kids raised by normal parents in a normal household on 77 out of 80 measures. And the measures where they didn't do worse were pretty trivial. There were studies going back at least to 1996 showing that on every single measure, kids raised by same-sex parents do much, much worse. Social development, emotional development, all sorts of professional and personal outcomes, worse on basically every single count. And they even do worse because of the ancillary features of being raised in a same-sex household, like being gestated by a surrogate through IVF. Those kids tend to do much, much worse. Anyway, that's just total nonsense. I hate to inject some reality and fact into a mean tweet, but there you have it.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be normal, but I have two moms, so I'll probably end up being a furry.
Gregory the Hawktua, Trump and his focus group of Turning Point USA eunuchs. Sir, we can't greenlight Kamala Harris.
What did that just mean?
We're going to lose out on the ambiguity of her genitals. Oh, good grief. This is really gross. This is very, very graphic language. Michael Knowles climaxes so hard that it reaches escape velocity and puts a hole in the International Space Station.
We're coming up to get you. I've authorized Elon. I said, can you get him out?
I don't really know what this is saying. It's definitely gross. I couldn't have said it better myself, I guess. Next one. Ukraine flag. Here you know you're in for something good when you get the Ukraine flag in the Twitter. So this is in response to me saying, hold on, you're telling me the Inflation Reduction Act you voted for 3 years ago didn't work. It says, hold on. You're telling me the Trump is going to lower the price of eggs. Didn't work. Go F yourself, Michael Knowles. When was this? I guess I tweeted this on January 7th.
January 6th. The worst insurrection and terror attack in the history of the United States. January 6th.
So I actually don't have the date of when this guy tweeted his, but assuming it's sometime around January 7th, then that would be before Trump was inaugurated. Right? So I think he may have hoisted himself with his own petard.
Frank, I'm not comfortable with how you're using that word.
Retard? You're saying it?
Without seeing the date, I can't know for certain, but that would be my guess.
Oh, pull it up, Jamie.
I don't know if it was so much mean, other than saying you're dumb, you're gay, you're a failure, kind of standard stuff in politics. That wasn't all that mean. Not a lot of it was clever. Some of it was incoherent, but I feel chastened, brought down to earth. It's hard sometimes. Now my head will be able to fit through the door after all of those insults. And I can once again be proud of my humility. See you next time.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
I don't fabricate it, ayy. Most of y'all be faking, ayy. I stay modest about it, ayy. She level graded, ayy.
Please, stop it.
My left throat just went viral.